What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So I apologize for the hiatus that I've been on. I've been MIA for a few days. I have been sick, but I am back and better than ever. So let's talk some things over really quick. Some awesome news here for Jordan Seaton today. Got himself a little stiff arm. Got a little tutty in today's Under Armour game. We'll go over that here shortly. Then also, the grades came out for first-year coaches. Coach Prime received his grade. We'll talk about that, break that down, get your thoughts and opinion. Were they right? Were they a little bit off? We'll break all that down. And of course, a crystal ball has came through for a massive tight end, which some of you may have heard. I am a little bit behind the eight ball, but I do want to talk about it and the reason Buffs should be excited for this addition. But first order of business, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Seaton, offensive tackle. Yes, I have to remind you that he plays offensive tackle because the clip that I'm about to show you is a young man scoring a touchdown. Apparently, he does it all. In an offense like Colorado with, Shedeur Sanders slinging the football, it's great to be versatile. All right. And we've seen guys play both sides of the ball on this team. This young man plays it all. Converted. Well, it was brought back for a penalty, but here is the clip of Jordan Seaton poking one in for a 2-point conversion and then give himself a little Heisman here, stuffing the linebacker into the ground. Take a look. It's gold. Hey, you got to love it. I mean, tackles, they offensive linemen, they get dirty anyways, but you got to love an offensive lineman that's ready to get down and dirty. So, look, we had our doubts, maybe not we, but that one interview, we had some questions. Since then, it's been nothing but uphill, okay? Great projections thus far. Looks great at the game and the Under Armour game as well. Dominated that left side. Had some fantastic highlights as well. So if you had a chance to go take a look at that game, I'm sure there's plenty of clips or highlights. You guys can go watch that. It was on ESPN, so we can't show any of that due to copyright. But all in all, fantastic job there. Those guys have a week to practice, get prepared, so take it with what you will. Love seeing him being utilized, though, in multiple ways, getting the 2-point conversion. All right, next up, we've got Coach Prime receiving his grade from On3 just today. A bunch of coaches received their first-year grade, but we're going to talk about Coach Prime, read what they wrote, and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions about their grade. So their overall grade was a B. They said no first-year head coach was under a greater microscope than Deion Sanders. And although the goalposts constantly shifted throughout the Buff season, Colorado's 4-8 record should be viewed as a successful season. Sanders brought Colorado the energy, juice, and exposure, sellout crowds, multiple big noon Saturday games, the program desperately needed. Completely agree. The Buffs stunned TCU, upset Nebraska, and pushed USC and Arizona to the brink. The season ended in a whimper, but Sanders has reloaded in the transfer portal again to gun for a bowl in 2024. Still, there has been some concerning hiccups from demoting Sean Lewis to throwing the offensive line he recruited via the portal under the bus, and most importantly, high school recruiting in 2024 cycle. I don't think I need to beat the bus or beat the drum or beat the dead horse on the recruiting cycle. I think we've addressed that plenty of times on the show. I do want to address the backhanded slap there of him throwing the offensive line that he recruited via the portal under the bus. Taking a look and kind of diving deep into this, all this came shortly after the demotion of Sean Lewis, or the replacement, realignment of Sean Lewis. Wasn't really considered a demotion because he, as Coach Prime stated, they're all getting paid the same. Demoto came shortly after that, after his adjustment in the lineup. But what people are misunderstanding is like two guys came from Kent State, which is where Sean Lewis coached, alongside the offensive line coach that came with Sean Lewis, who coached with him at Kent State. So this was an evaluation more than likely from that offensive line coach and Sean Lewis, which may have had a lot to do with, again, the adjustment of Sean Lewis. Could have been a package deal, could have been a package move where, yes, he may have been throwing them under the bus, but at that point, again, could have been, we're moving on from this project here and what is Sean Lewis and this offensive line coach and going to try something new. Others came from Jackson State as well, but again, they're picked up from kind of all over the place. But now they've moved on, obviously, to Phil Load, I believe. To Phil Loadholt. Obviously, he joined the staff earlier last month. So already adjusting that. Now, I get it. Look, they're giving their grade based on what they did. It was the way he said it, the way it was worded, in my opinion, kind of like a backhanded slap, like, well, they just kind of threw under the bus all that he, went out and recruited. But again, feel like that was more of an offensive package deal. Moving on from that, replaced that, got a new offensive line coach. We see what they were able to do on the offensive line side, what they brought in this season. Going to be interesting to watch on how that unfolds. As for the grade, though, for a B, I mean, I think it's spot on. I think, the Stanford loss and a few other losses could cause for reason to keep that from being a little bit higher of a grade. 4 wins, it's going to be there. I think it's spot on, honestly. I think it's right on point with how the season rolled out. I'm not going to hold the recruiting cycle because I think, again, you finished with the number 1 transfer portal class thus far. It hasn't completely closed, but it looks like you're going to hold that spot by a landslide. You could move that grade up even a little further, in my opinion. But look, I think for a team, for a school that was 1-11 under the greatest microscope, which typically a team that's 1-11, you're not walking into every game the threat. You're not walking into every game where you're circled, right? That's something to kind of keep in mind, that every team that walks into Colorado or that had Colorado coming will circle on the calendar that we didn't either try to make an example of this team, right? We want to show what's up, or what happened to those other teams that they didn't show up. So something to kind of think about there. I think, and look, that comes with territory. You walk the walk, you got to talk the talk. So I don't think they're worried about being circled. I think they want to be circled, as I'm sure they're circling their own calendar as well. And it's going to be an interesting year going into the Big 12 with new schools, with new rivalries, and TCU being one of those schools where they'll be able to play again, which I'm sure there's going to be a bad taste. So there's going to be some saltiness there that they're going to head into TCU. Should be an interesting one that plays out. Next order of business. Last up, we've got Gregory Jen Ross, I believe it's pronounced, 6'6", 230 tight end, number 1 tight end out of JUCO. Here's what excites me about this. Again, this news broke just about 24 hours ago. He has been crystal balled by Steve Robertson, sitting at 8, which is extremely high, just over Mississippi State. There was a crystal ball from Mississippi State as well, so it looks like it's coming down to these 2 schools. What I love about this is the addition of Shimon Maytar, I believe. He's 6'6" as well, about 220, 230. So those additions of those 2 tight ends, again, with the addition of the offensive line help, I think it's going to be a fantastic protection piece, but also another big target for Shedeur Sanders to sling the football too. And coming from JUCO, having a year in college ball, it's a little bit different than it's considered under the high school recruiting class, but he has a year of college ball under his belt. So he's played up against bigger men, up against grown men, right? And JUCO college, not just high school recruits. So they're a little bit further developed than a typical high school recruit, because again, he's being considered as class, like a whole other window that we're looking at here with a JUCO class. So love this addition, another quiet addition to the staff. It looks like Nick Scorton, the edge out of Purdue, who once had some hype to be visiting Colorado, has died down. It looks like he's down to FSU, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. And as of now, Texas A&M has been crystal balled and is leading the way in that recruitment. So would like to say that Coach Prime could pull one out of the hat here, but for the fact that he's not visiting or hasn't planned to make a visit to Colorado, leads me to believe that dream could be coming to a close. And look, I think maybe this recruiting cycle and transfer portal class could be at its end. There isn't too many spots left. Again, maybe 1 or 2 more spots, I believe, are open. Something we'll continue to monitor. But defensive line coach, some defensive positions need to be added. Hearing a lot of noise about what could be coming in is exciting. So that's what I would look for in the coming weeks. And as a reminder, Charles Kelly, he departed defensive coordinator. It appears that he's been heading to Auburn, but apparently the name that's being tossed around is pretty exciting. There was an interview that happened where there's who is coming in. So the names that were being tossed around are getting people excited. Nothing's dropped yet. I would assume this would happen over the next few days. So again, be sure to smash the like button, turn the bell on, because when it does happen, we'll be discussing it, giving our thoughts and opinions about it. But I want to hear from you guys. What grade do you guys give Coach Prime for this past season? Want to hear from you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.